Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome. We are back with another hot button co-op. Brian already says rocket launcher. Chaser. Yeah, my favorite's the clearly audible ow when they get slashed. Or it's like ow. That's my favorite. I love the scream.
It's like the Wilhelm scream.
It's like the American Gladiator screams from NES. Remember that when you not use the pole or the I don't remember what that game was called. Was it the jousting?
The battle.
Yeah, the battle jousting
yep.
where you knock them off, and dude, the NES scream was the best.
Dude, it sounded like they were being eviscerated.
Well, you're falling off that platform like
into hell.
I mean, obviously in the show it was like a bunch of foam padding, but in the game, I mean, you're just falling into endlessness right there. That's why they're screaming. But welcome everyone. We are back to another hot button co-op. Starting again with Old Metal Slug. I believe we're on 4,
Number
right?
4.
So we are on 4, and of course the things in the news are never ending.
Never ending.
So much chaos happening. That's funny, sad, hilarious, all in between, and all that stuff. We are here to provide you our takes on it, give a glimpse of what goes on in our warped minds.
Yes, indeed.
And I know you did. You graciously took the reins this time. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff too. I've got stuff to talk about as well. But
wonderful.
Eric will again
lead this whole
leading this time around. And yes, so thanks to you guys for joining with us. And with that, if you enjoyed the show, feel free to like, subscribe, and check the descriptions where we have our social media listed. I'm mostly on YouTube, and right now I'm multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch.
Please, yes, we'll take a share for sure.
And Eric, you are mostly on Twitter, I would say, for the most part. Although you are doing a cleansing. You're not really. Did you say it's monthly or kind of bi-monthly sort of thing?
Not so much bi-monthly. I usually do it twice a year.
Oh, okay.
So
bi-yearly, I guess.
Yeah, do like a month social media blackout. Get that machine gun. Yes, like just a month clear out of social media. That way I can just kind of recenter myself and yeah, not be completely inundated 100% of the time by madness.
And that's happening this time around, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, well, Eric, I believe you said you do have DMs open, but he will be less online. But you could always check him out on Twitter and on his YouTube as well, Angel Legend. Are you uploading anything recently or not really?
I uploaded some more of Stuart's and my show, Stuart's show, but our talk on there where we get into the paint on some of the madness from the pulpit. Dude, there's just been some craziness, and this week's topic was largely on this this hubbub around the potentially doing away with the Roe v. Wade decision from, I believe it was 73. And just
really seeing that divide of people who actually listen to the book, what Jesus has to say, as opposed to the progressive wave of as long as you feel good, everything's going to be all right, which is we kind of went into depth last time around too, pretty much just talking about how the offering that the Judeo-Christian belief sustains, that Jesus offered his life and that he was the Son of God to offer his life to wipe away the sins of the world so that you may avoid the second death.
Yep.
And we kind of went into the whole talking about how that Jesus' sacrifice is for the second death, but there's still things you need to do once you become a believer.
Yep.
That's where you can't just rely on, well, I know Jesus loves me in the end, and I gave my life to him to wipe away my sins, therefore I can still do whatever I want. Sadly, a lot of false teachings, mainly from the progressive wave that you see, have that mentality too. And with, like Eric said, the Roe versus Wade, I mean, I'm I haven't looked too deep into it. I've been too busy with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp
oh dude, yeah, there's
trial
so
happening,
much
but I'm
there.
sure you were probably
Oh yeah,
checking out all the madness of the Roe versus Wade. I've seen clips obviously of the libtards making the same old arguments over and over again. My body, my choice, sort of hot garbage.
It's really a broken record argument that so many of them make, and it's like, okay, we've already debunked all this. And one thing that,
hey Don, press that. He says, press that button. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll get more into the whole Roe v. Wade issue here in a bit, but I've got a few hot things to say about it. Hey, I didn't have to use it continue that time. Nice. But first,
I of course did.
Well, it is okay. You only had to use one though. It's fine. First interesting thing, I figure we'll start out with some levity for today, but it was, you saw the video of Dave Chappelle getting charged on stage?
So the one is it one where it's really far away?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if there was another video. I've seen, because I have seen, I've only seen the far away one of the guy clearly charging and then trying to tackle, and then just a shit ton of security just running up and
yeah,
sort of thing. I didn't know. You said there's two?
Yeah, so there was one where it's far away and you hear Dave, he's in the middle of telling a joke, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and he gets run into by the dude. Well, there's another one. Oh, do you get that thing that missile launcher? There's another one where it's a little bit closer and you can see the security guards and they're just stomping the dickens out of this dude. Like, they are cleaning his clock. So
and it was, of course, a trans, right?
Yeah, it was,
because that's the whole thing why people hate Chappelle.
Yeah, it was a trans guy, but I guess I think he's transitioning to be a female,
right?
But it was a dude, and so he rolls up, right? Charges the stage, and he had a replica gun, right? But the replica gun had a knife either attached to it or a knife that was able to protrude out of it. So yeah, he's got a replica gun. Thankfully though, he didn't pull it out. So yeah, so he charges Chappelle. It happened at the what was it, the Hollywood Bowl, and Chappelle was there. I don't know if he was filming a special. I had read somewhere that he was there to actually film his next special, and this is when it occurred. The guy's brother actually spoke to the news about just what happened with his brother charging the stage and going crazy, and said, yeah, my brother actually suffers from mental illness.
Okay.
He said he suffers from mental illness and does take medication for it, which
apparently didn't work that time.
Yeah, but I guess it said that he's a pretty troubled dude by all accounts. So this is, it just went totally bananas this day. Anyway, though, the way you see it happen, Chappelle, he's there. The guy, like you mentioned, he charges into Chappelle. Chappelle sort of falls down and is able to regain his balance. The guy goes to try and run off the stage and is immediately headed off by the security team that starts to chase him. But then Jamie Foxx, who's in the back in the wings, like cuts the guy off entirely. And you're fine. They roll up on this dude, Chappelle, his crew,
thanks, Ron,
Jamie Foxx, everybody, and they stomp this dude out. They stomp this dude so fierce. It looks like they broke his right arm. When you see the photo of him sitting on the gurney, getting ready to go to the hospital,
even that looks quite disgusting.
Oh, dude,
it's insane what he looks like. Too.
He looks deranged for sure, and just the blood in his face, the puffy cheeks, the broken nose, the limb that is almost severed from his body. Like, they kicked the crap out of this dude. The guy's name was Isaiah Lee. He was 23.
I get that.
And he didn't get charged with a felony because the LA DA refused to charge him with a felony.
Of course they would. Well, I think I have a sneaking suspicion why.
Well, there's I guess a little bit to it with how they went with the charges. So they ended up charging him with 4 misdemeanor accounts, and I guess they were pushing for a felony charge for assault with a deadly weapon, but since he never actually got the gun out with the knife on it to attack Chappelle, the DA wouldn't slap that charge on there, which I can understand.
Makes sense.
But yeah, 4 felony charges. 4 misdemeanor charges. He got for that, and then so after he gets taken out of there, they pretty much resume the show. Chappelle goes back on stage. Chris Rock, who was also there, pops out on stage and he goes, "Was that Will Smith?"
Yeah. Rod says, "Congrats on the promotion, Greg." Thank you. What Rod's talking about is that I don't know what I did, but apparently I was selected. I was bestowed the rare thing called super thanks.
Dude, that's so cool.
Which is like super chats for videos.
Yeah, people can go back and tip your old stuff.
They can go tip my videos and stuff like that. I don't know what I did. A mistake on YouTube's part and a waste of time for me.
How did it happen, or how'd you find out?
I just got an email. I get certain emails, and like, you know, your daily cleansing of like, what is all this crap? Like, what did I sign up back in the day that gets me all this crap? And then at one point it was like YouTube creators. I'm like, oh boy, because I always laugh at the YouTube creators because they're like, do this to increase your video, and it's pretty much like, oh, pretty much be woke. And I'm just like, well, we're not going to do that. But then it was like, you are now eligible for super thanks. I'm just like, wow, that's actually
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, but yet I want
to put that on my old videos, my tutorial videos.
See, the thing is I don't know how successful, because I feel like YouTube has barely talks about it. Like, there's articles about it, but they're so old that I think people kind of forgotten. So I don't know how successful of a feature it is, but still pretty cool. And I am grateful that for whatever reason, when it comes to pop content provided by awesome people, this is the guy that you gotta check.
Heck yeah.
But Brian says Chris Rock then asked him if that was Will Smith. Yeah, Eric just mentioned that.
Was that Will Smith?
Angron says arm broken, multiple contusions and cuts and bruised ribs. Oh yeah, he just got fucked up. And then Don Wanderer says awesome for the thing that we just mentioned.
Dude, what was really wild about it is like Dave Chappelle's like, yeah, I just stopped this guy backstage, and they all stomped him crazy hard. Like they whooped this dude.
Wait, you said Will Smith? You mean?
Sorry, Dave Chappelle says, yeah, I stopped this guy backstage, and it was great. Kevin Hart was actually on Jimmy Kimmel only. I believe it was I forget who was filling in for Jimmy Kimmel that night, but he says, yeah, it was something that had to happen. It's like,
well, you know, that brings up a really interesting thing, because as much as I would. As much as I do, as much as I guess it's more of a struggle I have with knowing that, you know, following the Christianity, Judeo-Christian belief system of Christ, obviously you don't want to go around beating people randomly, but I'd hate to say that it did kind of what you mentioned, like. That needed to happen, because we saw that with Will Smith, and pretty much Will Smith set it up to where, and we saw, you know, other comedians talk about it too, is like, is this now what we're going to have to deal with all the time? Is that somebody is just going to get upset over jokes and come up and try to attack us and stuff. And then this happens, and then the guy gets the living shit kicked out of him. And I hate to say it, but it does need to, it needed to happen.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'm glad that it happened quick.
Yeah, it was taken care of like right now.
Well, and I'm not just saying quick like the guy got stomped on. I'm talking about quick as in it happened recently.
Mm-hmm.
Because who knows on what other weirdos are going to try to attack comedians.
Yep.
And I unfortunately have a feeling that a lot of comedians would probably just let them get their ass kicked because they're afraid to defend themselves. Now, obviously, it was me. Possible skull and bones would probably have been cemented into the stage, because I ain't letting anyone attack me.
Oh yeah, he's lucky
and
he wasn't killed.
For the bad grammar.
Well, like I said, he's lucky he wasn't killed, because
exactly.
You charge me like that on a stage, and there's a very high likelihood that you're not going to be going home. except for in a pine box. And so, considering that he had a security team go over there and stomp the dickens out of him,
it's glad that they did it instead of me, sort of thing.
But I did appreciate Kevin Hart even mentioned that, because Kevin, he's had his own dealings with the mental insanity that is Hollywood, trying to cancel him and all that. And
with the
the Academy Awards. He was supposed to host the Oscars.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah, they really just screwed him over royally.
I mean, I honestly haven't seen any of his works, so I have mixed opinions.
He's got some really good stand-up specials, some really good ones.
Get out of there.
I can't get out, man.
There we
go. Anyway, like pretty much verbatim what he said was, hey, it's one of those things that needed to happen. And I really am glad, like you said, because people have been getting away with causing so much violence in the last few years, like the leftist wackos who went out and burned down businesses and literally killed people over George Floyd.
That's my... So obviously we'll get to the Roe versus Wade thing that's happening, but that was one of the things I saw that I just laughed when I saw it. Was some libtard put up a thing saying, like, okay, like pretty much declaring like this is war, like you poked the bear one too many times, now we're coming for you. And I'm just like, oh, sweetheart, cupcake, booby, you have no idea what poking the bear is. And this is the thing I always think is funny, is that these people mock the right for, you know, loving guns and not caring about the kids, even though, you know, school shootings happen, they stand on the graves instantly. Wanted kids to wear masks. Now the abortion thing. So I just chuckle when they say they care about the kids when all their action shows that they don't.
Oh, for sure.
And it just baffles my mind of the idea of, like, you do realize that the people that you're making fun of that quote love their guns and are hickish and all that stuff, you do realize that if those people just said, all right, you know what, fuck it, we're done, that they would be mowed away so quickly.
Oh yeah, it's like none of you are making it home for supper.
Of course you'll have the Antifa people and stuff who do have like the weapons and stuff like that try to act tough, but they would get wiped out in like heartbeat.
Oh yeah, it's like, I know people say, oh, I'd love to live through a zombie apocalypse. I'm like, yeah, but it would be over in an afternoon, because everybody out here is pretty much prepared for it. Whether you got a machete or you got a shotgun or you've got some other form of weaponry in your house, just about everybody out here knows that if a zombie apocalypse were to just happen, oh, it'd be on. It would be on for a crazy 4.5 hours, and then we'd be done with it.
Don says, since they're not pressing charges, it sets a bad example where it's going to be okay to rush up to stand-up comedians and performers with no consequences. Yes, but I'm glad that the security beat the crap out of him, because that did, as much as they say violence doesn't solve the answer,
it sends a message.
It sends a message, and that whole belief can be debated, but that's another rabbit hole to go down. But it does send a message. Let those without a sword sell their cloak and buy one. Exactly. Yep. Not only was that fulfilling prophecy, it was also Jesus condoning self-defense. They always use fantasies, specifically Marvel, to demonstrate their piss. They live in a fantasy world. By hypocritical, says Rod. Looked like WWE when a spectator tries to get into the ring. Oh yeah. Dude, I remember. That's funny. I remember back. Did we actually? It was like the one time my dad was like, you know, it's like, okay, you guys can go. We're out of town. We're gonna be doing something. You can go ahead and buy a pay-per-view.
Oh, nice.
Of wrestling. He did that for us one time, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was the when Hulk Hogan revealed himself as the heel for the NWO. I remember watching that.
Ooh.
Dude. Like, you're talking about fans come into the ring. At that point, like, people were throwing trash in the ring. They were so angry at Hogan. And Kevin Nash was standing there, and he actually saw some fan, like, trying to get in the ring, and straight up just, not kicked him, but more of, like, foot in the face, pushed him back out of the ring, and then someone came and, like, grabbed the dude. Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
Like, and what you said, Angron, is true, is these people they for sure live in fantasy land. I mean, these are the people that get their gun counter arguments from Hollywood movies. That they think silencers can be like that in John Wick, where the two guy him and the other guy are shooting at each other with silencers, like from, in that long mall hallway or wherever it was at.
Yep, I'm
these people do not know reality.
Yeah, I'm glad that the guy got his immediately because it was well deserved.
You can take that.
Let's see what it is.
So one of those bouncer things.
I don't know what it is.
Oh,
let's get into it. There we go.
Oh, it's like a little monkey thing.
That's weird.
A little monkey.
That did not go as planned. Okay. Like a little crawling device. Nice. Zoink scoops. So what else we got?
I mean, did you have any other?
So this
things
is
about? Go ahead.
Well, this is something that is really, really sinister. And I don't know if you heard about this, but this psychotic leftist organization, or this leftist movement, they're calling themselves Ruth Sent Us, like as in RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
It already sounds gay.
They doxed and put up the actual addresses of a number of Supreme Court justices online, because they're hoping for violent mobs to show up to their houses and pressure them to not make a ruling to remove Roe v. Wade, the decision made on it, or to get them killed. It's just about that sinister that they're, for all intents and purposes, trying to get these justices killed. And it's really, really despicable because they doxed Amy Coney Barrett, they doxed John Roberts, they doxed Sam Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, Clarence Thomas, and Neil Gorsuch. Doxed them all, put up all their addresses, and they're more or less, like I said, they're more or less sending the angry mobs to their houses, to their literal abodes, to have them get set upon. What's even crazier is you see high up Democrats actually supporting this kind of activity and unable and unwilling to condemn the violence that already is taking place, and the extreme invasion of privacy that's happening to people, and the potential life-threatening situations that are being made. They're just totally unwilling. Jen Psaki was asked about the whole thing, and she more or less says, well, the White House, we don't have a stance on where people are allowed to protest. I'm sitting there going, are you out of your mind? Really? You don't have a stance, you don't have a take on where people are and are not allowed to protest? Thinly veiled attempts at even trying to care, because they very clearly don't. It's our way, or you might as well be dead, essentially. But that
shooting this guy in the dick and he wasn't dying again.
He didn't feel it, apparently.
Angron says Ginsburg's thought Roe versus Wade was bad law too. See, they're just picking someone that they think aligned with them.
Dude, what's really, really, really sinister is that this is trying to essentially threaten judges into compliance. This is the left threatening their lives, their kids, their families. I hate it. That's one of those things where it's like, hey, look, if you live in a right to carry state, definitely carry and keep your head on a swivel whenever you're walking out inside public, because you never know. As Rocco says, when one of these motherless lowlives is going to try and get you. So I hope that the security detail around these judges and their families is tight. I hope that they have security systems, hounds, landmines, razor wire. I hope they have all that. And in all honesty, if it comes down to it, and there's an either you or me kind of scenario for these judges and some of these psycho lefty maniacs dying, I hope it's the maniacs, and I hope it, like that guy getting stomped out on the stage, I hope it sends a message of, hey, look, we are more dangerous than you are. Do not mess with us. This is not a game. We are not LARPing here. This is not us playing pretend. This is real life and there are real consequences.
Anground says Antifa versus Supreme Court, police, and federal marshals. That'll go well for Antifa.
Yeah, I mean,
these people are fools.
As intense as this is, were I leader of the free world during that whole summer of love that we had, I would have authorized live fire by the police. I would have said, look, if you have a bottle chucked at you, that is clearly an attempt with a deadly weapon, you are to return. And I would have made a statement on the news saying, hey, look, to anybody who wants to go out there and cover this, to anybody who wants to go out there and try and play reporter, anybody who wants to go out there and try and film this, do yourself a favor and stay home, because if you are out there, you will be lumped in and assumed to be, you will be lumped in with the rest of the mad people, lumped in with the rest of the mob, and you will assume to be hostile should people start throwing things like Molotov cocktails or bricks or fire bottles. So stay home so you don't end up as another statistic, death by cop. That's what I would have said. And I would also give the Border Patrol license to use live fire, and I would tell them, look, this is an invasion. Anybody coming across that border without papers and not going through the proper channels, they are trying to invade, and you must treat them as a hostile entity. Send them on home.
Yeah, it's gonna be just a matter of I forget how we're supposed to like up.
I get it.
Wait, what did you do?
I just got. You just have to position yourself next to it so he grabs it. But yeah, so that was one of the things where like it's not hard to condemn. It's really not hard to condemn. But the fact you see so many of the higher up leftist maniacs saying, "Oh yeah, it's time for a revolution, and we gotta do it right now." We need to get in their face and make a crowd. We need to draw a crowd and yell at them. We need to interrupt them when they're trying to have dinner with their families. It's like,
I mean, the solution to that would have just been to punch the dude and break his jaw.
Yeah, the solution to it is you have
the
to. The
solution to it is go away, leave us alone. We're trying to do something, and then of course they're going to refuse, and then you just start the beating and say, "Well, I told you." Bam, 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 bam. Then of course there'll be hysteria going, "We have the right to do that," and it's like, dude, I have the right to like not be hassled.
I'll tell you what's really the solution is, if they want to hint at violence, then violence needs to be doled back to them so swiftly and so intensely that it wins not only this fight but every future fight. Pull an Ender Wiggins and say, look,
so pretty much sets to the art of war.
Yeah, exactly.
Just hit them as hard as they can, or to make an example.
Yeah,
that's why I've been saying we need to bring back public execution.
Yes.
And almost as extreme as it is, but then again, it's like, well, you guys made it extreme, so if you want extreme back, we can give you extreme back, and then just have their body displayed in
on a pike
in town square. And if it's for like the stupidest thing like jaywalking or something, it's like, too bad. Lesson learned.
Yeah, and it's
like, stop it.
Yeah, and it's not that
like we can go to that extreme. We can be that petty, you know, in extremeness if we really wanted to. Because guess what? You guys will not be on the winning end.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm calling for violence. It's that I'm saying that is the solution, and that will ensure that the ones out there, these feeble-minded idiots who are out there LARPing, thinking that they're doing something great for society, while they hurt and maim their fellow man, they will get a supreme and heavy dose of reality shoveled right at them. And they will not like it, because they won't survive it. So,
well, we say this all in the wonderful pixel version of Minecraft.
Yes, of course, in Minecraft, yes.
In Minecraft shall they be punished swiftly.
Yes, Minecraft spelled REALLIFE. But yeah, so that's another just irritating topic.
I did hear Ruth get brought up. I didn't know it was about that, and I didn't know they.
Yeah, saying, "Oh, Ruth sent us." Ruth would not have sit for this.
I'm really starting to get to the point where, like, even though you can make the argument about doxing and how pathetic it is, and if it is technically, you know, if it's public information, then technically
it's not illegal.
Yeah, it's not illegal. But then you know, there's people out there that are like, "Don't dox, don't be like them." I hate to say it, but it's getting to the point where you just need to. If they're poking the bear, there's going to be a point where the bear's going to get up and maul that face and then go back to sleep. sort of thing. So the question is when that's going to happen, and we're hoping it doesn't, and we're hoping that we can at least agree on different opinions and then leave, but they don't want to.
Yeah. And well, it really doesn't help when you have lunatics like Joe Biden calling this current conservative movement the most extreme political organization in history.
It's always going to be the right. It's always going to be the right. And there's a reason why a big red wave is going to become, is because people are tired of that. Because it's like that's your default answer to everything, that it's always this side, this side, this side. Please believe us, because we're still in control of the MSM. Although I think that's slowly losing its grip too, because people are like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like,
well, and
get off.
And with as crazy as the left tries to make conservatives and those on the right out to be, it's not hard to see that they are the psychotic ones. Absolutely, born and bred.
Well, and that's to say there's just as extreme ridiculousness. Is that even a word?
Yeah,
ridiculousness.
It's a show that Rob Dyrdek.
But some leftists said it, and I thought it was gay, because it's like, that's from a show, and I thought that was a made-up word. But never mind. I used it now. I used it cool, though.
No going back. Yeah, you did.
I was a baller.
You were real cool. You were like a little Fonzie is what you were like.
And Grunt says, the right still doesn't realize they are at war. They think voting in elections will fix everything, and both sides will accept it. They also think law enforcement are on their side and protection. Yes. And we talked about it just as much as well, that the right, for as crude as what I will say, the right needs to stop being a bunch of fucking pussies and realize that they need to get up to date with the time, especially if we're talking like technology and stuff like that. Get off your ass, realize that this fight is using technology and social media. Understand, get up to date with it. I don't care if it's hard for you to learn. If you can't learn it, get someone who can.
Yep.
And put them in charge of explaining it to you or whatever.
Yeah.
And do something about it, because this is where, and I do agree, this is where the right are complete idiots. And well, you have the rhinos that are in bed with the Democrats too. And then you have the ignorant ones that Angron mentioned as well, of like, yeah, we'll just vote and stuff too, and everything will be hunky-dory, and they accept it. It's like, look around you. It doesn't matter. Like, they're not accepting it.
Yeah,
they will always do a mental gymnastics to justify how they are in the right.
Yeah, and Christians are not called to be pacifists. We're never told to be pacifists. And the turn the other cheek was in reference to being insulted. You have to be ready, willing, and able to protect yours. And like we even talked about before, when the founding fathers penned the Second Amendment, they said, "Look, we've also made a provision inside here that is against police being able to come into your house and just search and seize things, because they say, oh, this looks suspicious, I'm taking it. And if you get run roughshod over and somebody breaks into your abode, takes what they want, hurts you, kills you, rapes and pillages, then that is your fault for not doing your due diligence in getting yourself a weapon, learning how to use it, and protecting yours and your family." It's like, it was understood to be the person who owned the place's fault if they got invaded, essentially. So it needs...
I'm a monkey. Oh, I got a little diaper, so I don't throw poop.
But yeah, so that was again ridiculous for Joe Biden to even suggest that. But as we've said before, we know that the man is a puppet. He is not with us anymore. And the crazy rhetoric that is being pumped out from his pulpit, I can only imagine that it's being written by some absolute lunatics in his office.
Problem is, the right is full of boomers who can't change TV remote batteries, millennials in it from the memes, and Christians who think part of God's plan means passive and waiting for Jesus.
Nope.
Well, unfortunately, I would make the argument that those are not Christians. Those are the progressive Christians.
Those are the pansies, what they are. Bunch of little pansies. Not like Fonzies at all. Just pansies. Jump the shark. Get into this fight. Oh, I did not mean to do that. I saw
all that hard.
And I thank you greatly for it, Gimp.
All that hard cranking, and not my penis, but
well, here's
the thing.
Here's another little bit of
also not my
a bit of craziness here. So this, like I said before, you have Democrats that are not condemning the violence and the angry mobs, and they're actually in support of it. Well, it's a lot of those blue check marks on Twitter and social media and such that you see so much of this craziness coming from. This frickin' Yahoo, his name is Simon Gwynn. One blue check mark, lunatics.
Gwynn?
And I'm gonna have to read to you what this person said, because it is absolutely...
Oh, it sounds like a hoot and a holler.
Dude, it's absolutely sinister and unacceptable what this person said. But they said, they flat out suggested that someone assassinate Justices Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito. And they asked the question, they did this on Twitter, they asked it in a tweet, they said, words to the effect of, if you had the opportunity to, if you had the chance to kill those two justices, should you do it? So Biden can get his nominees to replace them confirmed, essentially while he's still in office. And then went on to say, it's a real conundrum if you're terminally ill and have he says it is an interesting as an abstract question. One more time. It is interesting as an abstract question. It says it's a real conundrum if you are terminally ill and have little to lose yourself, but know that it could save many women's lives and future. More or less insinuating that, hey, look, if you got nothing left to lose, might as well go ahead and kill one of these judges here, because yeah, you might end up going to prison, but whatever, you're gonna die anyway real quick. If you're terminally ill, might as well just...
So this person is calling for people with cancer that pretty much pull a, not a death wish, but there's like some other movie where this guy finds out he has like X amount of time to live, so he just goes around and pretty much does whatever he wants.
More or less is what they're suggesting. They're suggesting somebody go and kill these two justices. And the person has since taken down the tweet.
Why even post it? You know someone screen captured or archived.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, here's also kind of a silver lining is Elon's Twitter, they didn't take it down because there is freedom of speech, and he didn't directly say, hey, somebody should kill these people. He said it was a thought experiment.
Oh, how do we get that guy? Doesn't he give us something special?
He just did. He gave you rockets.
Oh.
And you know, it's fine. Like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some sort of morally superior person by saying that I never have thought experiments that are along those lines when it comes to certain individuals, because I definitely do. There's plenty of times where I've sat and I've thought, gosh, what if somebody just went out and killed those people or killed this person? Or are we to the point now where actual... Well, I thought, are we to the point actually right now where like assassinations have to happen? Like, are assassinations the only way that we can get to the next level? I've had those thoughts, but you don't write them out and spit them out into the world for millions and billions to see and possibly act upon. Those are those private conversations that you have with your friend when you're just so pissed off and you need to vent and you don't know what to say or do. But yeah, it just ridiculous. Oh, he's a metal man. He's a TX-1000. We gotta get him, Greg, before he turns his arms into sides and cuts up our car.
TX-1000 is the liquid metal guy.
Yeah, that's what I say, right?
No, that guy's not liquid metal. If you're talking Arnie, he's the T800, right?
No, he's the TX-1000. That's what I was saying. Liquid metal.
Oh, I mean, maybe he was a machine than me, but
maybe, okay,
me.
Fine.
Sorry.
Fine. But yeah, anyway, so more or less,
that would cause a civil war, and it wouldn't go well for anyone. Ukraine would walk on the beach.
Yeah, more or less, and this goes without saying that Simon is a sick person, a very sick person to suggest something like that. That is just a deranged way of even thinking.
Question: does he have bio pronouns in Or does he have pronouns in his bio?
I have not looked. He wasn't banned from Twitter.
He seems like one of those people.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I call it the racist checklist in their profile.
Right. He has a teacup schnauzer. Oh shoot! Dang it! It reversed on me. No. Come on. Chuck them nades. It really helps clear bosses quick. So here's the one thing. Or no, I shouldn't say one thing, but a couple things here. So you have the. Not only is he he's not the only one wanting this insanity. As I've already said, you have a lot of leftist crazy people out there, and even those in Hollywood that support this kind of lunacy. But it stands to reason that, okay, in order for us to have what they would define as justice, we have to go do something horribly illegal, and that is kill 2 other people in order for us to have the justice for women that everybody so needs. And you know what's really super interesting inside there that I didn't miss when hearing this initial news report come out is that they're concerned with the women. Nowhere in there at all was a child mentioned. Like, hey, this could save, he says, no, this could save the lives and futures of tons and tons of women. Okay, well, what about the lives and futures of tons and tons of little children who are going to die in the womb, or partially born, or being allowed to born, left on a table for 6 hours, made comfortable while they decide whether or not they want to let you live?
Well, I've said it before. It's because they don't care about kids.
Yeah,
they've
where's
never
their
cared
rights?
about kids. They see kids as a commodity to further their political agenda.
It's just
and then
insane.
They project that onto, like, you know, the right by saying you care about your guns more about your kids. Like, well, we're not the first. We're not the one to immediately stand on the graves to make an argument of gun control, because you're afraid to understand exactly how a gun works, all that.
Yeah, the only way to assuage a fear is to know everything about what it is you're afraid of, or know enough about it to where that sting of facing the unknown isn't quite as scary anymore, because you know at least enough about what you're having to grapple with that you figure, all right, I can handle the rest as it comes.
Oh my! Does those lasers hurt you?
They do, yeah. It just.
Why is some killing you and some don't?
Probably because in between your lives you're invincible for just a little bit.
Yes, I don't know how you're supposed to avoid that. You all own body armor. Might want to, if not.
Yeah. But so, and yeah, that was pretty much the top that I reached when I was thinking through this whole thing. Is like, we're so concerned about saving women's futures. Okay, well, there's any number of contraceptives available. So if you decide to go get knocked up, well, that's your fault. You could have used any number of those contraceptives, or the 16 available that Hobby Lobby provides for their workers. Now, if you regrettably have the choice forcibly made for you, I still don't believe that the unfortunate situation for you gives you the right to end the life of somebody else. Now, you hear people make the argument, oh, you're going to force some girl to carry a baby that was put inside of her through rape or incest.
What is that, like less than 1%?
It is. It's less than 1.5%, but we can just round up and say 1.5 collectively. Pregnancies occurring from rape and incest together make up less than 2% of all pregnancies and abortions that take place.
I used to be kind of like, yeah, if the woman's in danger and stuff like that. I used to be that way, but I'm slowly starting to pretty much come to the point of two wrongs don't make a right sort of thing. It's like, it's like that 1%, we have to change everything because just 1%.
Well, the thing about the woman's life being in danger, because like once the baby is growing, the life becomes viable very, very quick, of course.
Really quick.
A woman's life being in danger is an actual medical condition. Like a baby that is going to be an ectopic pregnancy, that baby's not going to live anyway, and it's going to kill the mother to let it grow inside the fallopian tube versus where it needs to be growing. So that's an actual medical condition, and even that combined with it was like less than 3%. So the argument is very, very thin, but you could say to them, okay, say we allow, okay, sure, if we allow you to terminate the pregnancy for somebody who was raped or is the victim of incest, then will you let us go ahead and abolish the right to abort a child at any other time during the pregnancy, before the 12-week rule, before the heart rate bill? Will you let us abolish abortion through all the other issues, so long as we provide you abortion rights for rape and incest? And they go, almost 100% of the time will say, well, no. Okay, well then why did you bring it up? If you're not willing to make that concession, then it's a moot point. It's a dumb argument to even make, and it only shows the logical fallacy that is bouncing around inside these people's heads. And also, you have to wonder about this: if you suddenly outlaw every single form of abortion, save for those that happen because of rape or incest, do you know how many poor high school boys who were stupid enough to have sex without a condom are going to get sent up the river because their girlfriends end up getting knocked up, and they're so worried that mommy and daddy are just going to destroy her future by making her live as a nun the rest of her life, that they sell this poor kid up the river and say, oh yeah, no, I'm pregnant, but he raped me? Do you know how many poor kids are going to get sent to jail for felonious and fallacious claims of sexual abuse? It'd be off the charts. The only way to actually go forward, and you have to have a code of morality that you live by, which is God-given. It's the only way you can make the argument one way or the other, because for atheistic standard, sure, they say go ahead and abort them anytime, whatever, fine. That guy Isaiah Lee was almost extremely late term aborted the other day when he was getting stomped on stage after trying to tackle Dave Chappelle.
I mean, I've been arguing to allow abortion up to the age of 35.
35, yeah. Yep. And you don't even have to have anybody's consent; just somebody can decide for you.
Yeah, I'm talking like for the whole family. Like if it's like you know, your alcoholic dad, I want you aborted. He's like, I want you aborted. And then it's like, all right, let's go.
Let's both abort each other.
Let's both abort each other.
Yeah. So.
Cracks me up when the left cry and say they won't hook up anymore. Good. Oh yeah, that sex strike thing.
Oh, dude.
Where all of them were a bunch of fat fucking whales.
Oh my gosh, that's the funniest thing. It's like you are a rotund meat planet. You're nobody's giving you sex. I'm sorry, sweetie, and like not to try and sound crude, but they hold up these signs like no rights for me, no sex for him. Okay. Oh boy, you're really sticking it to us. Yeah, we're all real bummed out that you're not turning down for what, Bessie or Brumhilda.
Maybe it's just me. Women should be the ones to vote and decide. It's not a committee. Christian politicians with no scientists or women, says Rod. We all know kids are the ball and chain of the working class.
Unfortunately, no, because it takes two to tango, and just because the woman has to carry the child does not mean that it's any less part of the man's who that child was conceived from.
Well, I mean, the more demonic sides of it, the reason why they're all going crazy and stuff like that is they're trying to make it as neutral as possible. Where like
that's the issue.
Where the thing is that they're trying to take away the sacredity of bringing a life into, to where it's just. That's why they do these mental gymnastics to convince themselves that it's just a clump of cells. It's not going to lead to anything, because therefore I can sleep soundly at night knowing that I didn't really kill anything. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, with transgender trans men can have, or no, trans females can have babies, right? Trans females means they were
trans women, yeah.
The guy originally. They can have babies. They're making it to where everything is just as neutral as possible, to where any sort of speciality and uniqueness that God bestowed upon them doesn't get it. Doesn't get a praise.
They're even doing away with the green apple flavor of what, you can slide? I didn't realize you could do that. Oh, that's cool.
This guy just
they're doing away with the green apple flavor of Skittle, and they're bringing back the lime. I don't want the lime. I want the green apple. Give me the green apple, please.
It doesn't sound like a 50. Well,
it's 50% genetic material from both ways.
I mean, men don't have to go to the labor. You are forcing women to give birth, while all men do is fuck. Doesn't sound like a 50-50 deal to me.
I'm talking about what goes into actually creating the life.
Man should pay 100% of the hospital bill.
No, not at all. Because if two people engage in sex willfully, then they're both at fault for it. Now, if somebody is raped, then yeah, I absolutely agree that not only should he have to pay 100% of the bill, but he should also go away and be either chemically castrated or physically castrated. But if it's in two consenting adults that decide to make a mistake one night, it's on both people.
That's been my whole thing of it too. Pretty much like a 3-strike rule, because you have marriage to justify having the kid, an accident. You have abstinence, and you have condoms. You even have pills. So like this whole logic of like, well, we didn't do all that because we just got tipsy one night and
it just felt better this way.
And it just felt better to, not waste time pulling out that rubber.
Yeah, well, and that's
wrap it around that penis.
That's why I say
that's where I'm just like, I'm sorry, you had so many chances and you done goofed.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say that the only way that you can make an argument for the sanctity of life is from a Christian worldview, and the only way that you can make a convincing argument for abortion at any time is with a secular worldview. So it's like unless we're both on the same page and we have a shared faith and a shared belief structure, then the argument it almost is better to not even be had, because there's going to be no convincing the other if one person doesn't believe the same exact foundational issues that the other person does. The other thing is that it's not an issue of what somebody is deciding a woman can do with her body. It's what they're telling her that she can do with someone else's body, because whether a person is conceived willfully or regrettably by force, it is not the child who's growing inside that person's fault. They have just as much right to life as anybody else does. And it sucks that somebody would be pregnant like that. It really does. My heart breaks for the person, but I don't think that it is
wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, it's not the child's fault, and that's killing them because of it is no way to go about solving the issue.
And Ron says Rod white knighting. Leaving the green Dawn says leave the green apple Skittles with the orchard variety. Bring back lime. Rod, I mean, what kind of person would I be if I don't voice my beliefs?
Hey, that's all right, Rod. I appreciate it.
That's fine if you voice your beliefs. I mean, that's the thing. That's the whole point of this conversation.
Discord. Yeah, that's why like none of us have called anybody here an asshole or a douchebag. It's like, hey, you have your beliefs and we have ours. And
believe me, I've been holding my tongue quite a while. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's like it's important to be able to talk and actually make an argument, because mine is, as I've laid out, as unfortunate as those situations are, it's not the child's fault that it happened, and I hate it. I really, really do.
Yeah, it's just, it gets to the point to where it's like you've repeated it enough to it's like, I don't know what else you want me to tell you. Like, it just makes sense. Like, for us, it makes sense because it's like this, and this. And then, of course, the same with someone else who's the opposite. It's like, well, it makes sense, this, and this. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, then... But these people make it to where it's their life core. That's the key difference, though, is that it's like, you disagreeing with this threatens my whole existence.
Yeah.
And it's like...
jeopardizes their entire future.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, get over yourself. That's just being a narcissistic right there. Because it's just like...
That's pretty... Whoa.
Oh.
That old boy got hit by lightning.
Oh my gosh.
But in other news, we have the Depp and Heard trial, which I'm sure all of us have been riveted to the TV over. Did you catch any of her testimony yesterday?
Oh yeah, I did.
Dude, the insanity that she was saying up there on the stand, it was like she's taken the worst parts of any dark romance, the worst parts of any bullying like romance story and tried to incorporate them into her life.
Well, here's the thing, is that actually a lot of the stuff that she's claimed happened to her, she stole from her ex secretary.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, or someone that she knew, or like her assistant.
Oh.
Her fired assistant. Actually, some of the stuff that she's been proclaiming happened to her actually happened to her. And she's... Oh no, dude, there's like... Did you...
Dang it.
Someone caught a glimpse where they think they found, and it looks pretty... I'm pretty damn convinced it happened, but she staged a photo.
Yeah, where she's blowing her nose.
Where she's blowing her nose. And someone else pointed out that if you look very carefully, it looks like... They're saying it's cocaine, but it might be something just to make her eyes water, but it looks like she straight up sniffed something.
Yeah.
To like get her to like riled up and stuff. Pretty funny.
Wouldn't that be a trick? My goodness.
Well, the big thing though is the PR. Like, if she was really like posing for a thing, like I believe the judge actually ordered not to do that, so she could get in trouble if that's the...
Yeah, but like here's some of the craziness, and like I'm gonna preempt this by saying the enormity of things that she listed off yesterday and even the day before, and so far all of her testimony thus far. It was like she was making it up right there on the stand. There is no way that she will ever be able to recount that same exact set of words a second time. There is no way that she can remember all those details that she fabricated.
Some of it she stole from she stole it from a movie.
Well,
like she stole lines from a movie in a book.
Oh, I'm sure. Like when I was sitting there,
The Great Mr. Ripley, I think, was like something that she stole like lines for. I think it was like when he fell in love with Johnny. It was like verbatim.
Oh, dude. So when she starts talking about like, I'm suddenly on the floor and I'm wondering, how did I get here? And I'm wondering, why is the floor so dirty? I sat there and I heard that and I yelled to Kylie. I go, it's like she's reading details from a book, like from a novel. And then I'm listening to Ricada's stream, and one of the people on the stream immediately says, it's like she's getting details out of a book, because that's what it was. And I reiterate that there is no way that she will be able to come back and give all that same information again verbatim. It's an impossibility. But this is some of the stuff that she was saying that happened. So even before they got married, she claimed that Johnny had been abusing her for years, but she kept taking him back because when it was good, but when it was bad, it was just the worst. Okay, so you can ask the logical question: if he was abusing you for years, then how the blazes did you end up marrying the guy and being with him for what, 15 months, something like that? She said that she had been repeatedly punched in a number of different scenarios by Johnny in the face, also endured slaps in the face.
Slap, punches, headbutts.
She said, she said he headbutt her. She said that Johnny jammed his fingers inside of her, into her vagina on 2 separate occasions, and that he raped her with a broken liquor bottle. She claimed that he tore chunks of her hair out of her head. He also claimed that he broke her nose, gave her a black eye, and that she had a cut-up vagina and cut-up feet because of all the broken bottles that were on the ground during their biggest row that they had, and that she was slipping in the liquor and, by extension, the glass that was on the floor. And for all that... she also talked about there being blood all over the place from the injuries that both her and Johnny
came into the window.
She said that there was food all over the place too, that Johnny just, I guess, chucked all over the place. That there was paint all over the place. The only things that we saw paint on were on the canvases that were inside their little art room together.
Oh, that was something that got me giggling. Was the Johnny? It looked like Johnny went around painting the walls with the blood and then ran out of blood, so he mixed it with paint. And I'm just thinking, okay, so when Johnny went and got his finger examined for the whole blood
did they find any cadmium red in there?
Yeah, did they find like legit, did they find like, number one, that finger could have been heavily infected.
Oh yeah, his liver could have died too because of the oils.
Yeah, and if they found the paint, not a thing. Well, that was the main thing of what, like, after you list all that stuff, no medical records whatsoever.
Yep,
That's
no
the thing.
medical or police reports.
It makes no sense.
Yep. Also, it's like, okay, she described all this blood being everywhere, and then the only pictures that she actually showed where it's like a drop. What she says is blood on the couch, which it could be wine or it could be blood. Let's say it's blood from Johnny's hand, because that's more than likely the case. She talked about all this blood being inside the bar area where all this broken glass was. You don't see any of the broken glass on the floor there. All you see is 3 beer cans on the floor, and then the glass that she says.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite. Let me clean everything up first before I take a picture. Hilarious.
Bull crap. But she claimed
walking on broken glass. I was just thinking of that song when she was talking about it.
Yeah, so
like none of this makes sense.
No, and the glass that she claimed was liquor bottles. There were only wine bottles on that counter that I saw inside that photo. Now maybe a couple of those bottles just have a similar shape to wine bottles, and they actually were liquor bottles, but they looked to me like wine bottles, and she said all the wine was upstairs. So you see a couple little drips of what looked like blood inside the kitchen, which I would imagine were probably from Johnny's hand when she smashed the bottle on his hand. She claimed that there was food all over the place. There were no photos of food being smeared all over the place. There was some paint and stuff on the mirror, which I could totally see both her and Johnny Depp having a hand in. It could have just been Johnny himself, because like, let's face it, if you act crazy around a dude and you push him to the breaking point, dudes will do crazy things. Like they'll take your puss and stick it inside the microwave and convince you that you're going crazy.
Take your puss? Oh
yeah, they'll stuff it in the microwave. Like guys who won't hit their women when they get frazzled like that, they take out their aggression on things.
I feel like
they break tables.
I feel like that's just an obvious though.
Yeah,
it's like I know that I cannot hit you and I don't want to hit you, but dear Lord, I need to do something to release this.
I'll break a TV.
So I'll break a TV.
I'll paint on the window. I'll paint on the mirror.
That's one of the things why I hated and obviously there's a reason why they hired her, is the shrink for Amber's side, that whatever her name is, the one doctor. Like, this is why I think this is so hilariously like ridiculous, is that she pretty much talked up that anything could be considered abuse, verbal, mental, psychological. It's like, okay, then pretty much anyone can just be abusing enemy. Me walking down the street could abuse someone. Like, where does it stop?
Well, I mean, sure, there is a such thing as verbal abuse or mental abuse, but those you can't go and take somebody into the court of law over and put them away. It's the physical. Did you physically put your hands on somebody? Did you throw a bottle
that lady
at them?
made the argument that you could, even though like what Amber did to Johnny could be argued with that logic right back at her.
Assault with a deadly weapon.
But she was like, let's see. Angron says religious argument isn't really the best because numbers 5:11 through 31 specifically references an unclean woman going to a priest for a big test and thing that ends the pregnancy if she's unfaithful / hoe.
Wait. So that's if she took something to end a pregnancy?
I'm just reading it of what
I believe it's if she took something to end her pregnancy, but it goes on further, if I'm not mistaken, to say that her life is now forfeit and she has to die for doing that, because life is sacred in the eyes of God. But Numbers and Exodus and Leviticus all cover what happens to rapists. And rapists, they are to be killed that same day. You are also not allowed to rape anybody, slave or free person inside the Bible. That also carries the weight of death. But we're talking also about a shame culture that was back in the Old Testament. Now, according to their shame culture too, if a woman was found who was betrothed was found to be not a virgin anymore, she was liable to be killed as well. If a guy sees a woman who was not betrothed and was a virgin, and he forces her to have sex with him, then he was expected to take her to wife and pay the bride price for her to her father. If not, it is more or less ensured that he would have been stoned to death. So the idea, I believe inside Deuteronomy, where it talks about a woman losing the child, it's for having taken something that causes her to lose the child, and in which case her life is forfeit there as well, because he makes a point of taking Solomon to task for engaging or turning the people of Israel back to idol worship, which included human sacrifice. And he also smacks down Manasseh, Solomon's, I believe, great-great-great-grandson or great-great-grandson, for engaging in the same exact thing. So the biblical argument is a strong one, absolutely, considering that Isaiah and Jeremiah and Psalms, all three talk about how before God formed us in the womb, he knew us. Thereby meaning that before we even had a spinal column, a heartbeat, before we were anything more than a couple of divided cells, we were already in existence. But
yeah, I think that has to, because that has to do with the spiritual, like the spiritual creation that God comes from.
Exactly. But I digress. The only way that you can make the argument is the only way that you can come to an actual agreement, common ground, argumentatively, is if you and the person you're talking to have an understanding and have common ground. And that has to be, you both have to have some sort of faith that you adhere to, or you both have to be of a secular mindset, because the secular person won't convince the faith person and vice versa.
One says she looks and sounds like she's rehearsing for a drama. Bumped coke on the stand. LOL says Angron not allowing her to spend recklessly is financial abuse. And then he responded, I guess this is what it says: the priest shall bring her and have her stand before the Lord. Verse 17, then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. No other man has had sexual relations with you, and you have not gone astray and become impure while married to your husband. May this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you.
Oh yeah, that was essentially edicted by the Lord there. That was saying, okay, if you're pure as you claim to be pure, then everything's gonna be fine. But if you're not, death awaits. So like, yeah, it absolutely is. Absolutely, you can make the argument for religion, but like I already said, both people have to be going in with the common ground. Otherwise, it's just you trying to convince somebody who doesn't share the same worldview that you do, which is nigh an impossibility. But yeah, back to the Amber Heard fiasco. As you were saying, Greg, no photos of any of that mess, and the couple photos that were shown, she's talking about all that glass on the floor. You see no glass on the floor. You see a few beer cans. The copious amounts of blood that she describes are nowhere to be found in any of the photos. You see a few drips of blood, which I assume are from Johnny Depp's hand. She said they point to the TV, and she says, oh yeah, that's a TV that Johnny threw his cup of coffee on. Okay, I didn't see any food thrown all over the place. I didn't see mashed potatoes smeared all over the place. She describes all this stuff and then takes so few photos of what's going on. She shows the paint room where there's black paint on the canvases that I guess that she was working on. And I could see Johnny just being pissed off and like, well, I can't go punch her in the face, so I'm going to go paint her canvases black because I'm just pissed off.
I can't believe that even was brought in. Like, who cares? Like, he painted over one of your paintings. Get over it. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I wish it would have been an objection and then relevance. But
dude, Camellia was on fire.
Dude, I loved it. She was taking him to task. I was happy that she was actually objecting, because it was like listening to Scarafisi not say anything during the Rittenhouse trial. Everybody's there yelling, object, object, object. But
yeah, I mean Nick and them said it best too. Like, you can, unless you're literally part of the trial, like, it's always going to be a sideline talk.
Yeah, and it's crazy because
Chaos Smash 64 says hashtag me poo baby.
Yeah, it's crazy because what she describes was not in there to the degree that she described it. None of it was. So okay,
you can jump down. So
you have to let go of the down button to jump up and then shoot down.
Shoot down.
This is a challenge. Yeah, I'll focus on the guys below. You take out that ship because you get the machine gun.
Will. Die, machine gun. Oh, I just stood there like a freak.
Like a freak? No! Oh. But anyway, it seems to me that it was a huge put on, and there's a lot of logical questions you got to ask, which is, okay, the big one, why in the name of all that is holy would you stay with someone who you claim has abused you so many times in such a fashion?
Eric, don't you know that's according to Elaine that that's a common misconception?
No, Elaine, you are incorrect, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Call yourself a doctor.
That was a great half a second of the heavy machine gun.
Yeah. The game works in mysterious ways. Oh my. But I'm really interested to see what happens on Cross, because I think they're going to take her apart, and I think you're going to see her actually snap on the stand. I really do. I think you will see her have a come apart moment.
I think it's interesting because obviously they purposely made Amber. I mean, I don't even think she was finished telling the story, if I remember correctly. But there's going to be like a good week before they come back, like because they're coming back on the 16th. It's going to be very interesting because they purposely made it to where people will just be talking about Amber's side of the story now for this week. But I think I feel like it almost hurts them in a way to let this much go, because that just gives the team a lot more to be like ready for this Cross, because we're going to point out every flaw that you just gave.
Oh yeah,
and we're going to be ripping you apart.
I bet Johnny was sitting there taking notes the whole time, like going like, yep, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Check her about this, check her about that.
Well, did you see at one point, one of the things, like, I don't think it was when Amber was talking, but when someone else was talking, that he was just drawing a picture.
Was he really? I didn't see that.
Which is hilarious, because that picture's probably like worth a bunch of money.
Straight out the trial. Yeah.
And Nick jokingly pointed out too that when he painted over Amber's picture, that the value of that painting probably shot up like
a couple
mil.
Yeah, and then she finally we see a picture of her, what she claims to be hair ripped out of her head, which it looks, honestly, the hair looked like straw. It looked like it was broken off, because she has long hair.
I have seen so many so many comparison pictures of people who are actually abused compared to what Amber Heard has showed to the court, and it is hilariously obvious on the difference of everything.
Dude, she described like the movie enough. Like I wonder if she was just watching the movie enough with J-Lo on repeat in preparation for this. Because it just bananas. You see a bruise on her arm, and then what is supposedly a black
bruise
eye
on the arm when she said that her face was getting hit. Or it was like the other way around. I thought that was funny.
Well, also she contradicted herself a bunch. There's certain things that she never mentions inside the beginning of like the tale, and then when she's describing the scene minutes later, she's like, yeah, he didn't even, she talks about changing her pants twice when Johnny spilled wine on her, and then she mentions, yeah, we're in the bathroom and he just shoves his fingers into me, didn't even pull my bathing suit to the side. And I'm going, wait a minute, I think you changed into pants twice. What?
I was trying to put on pants to avoid that.
Yeah, I was trying to get myself a denim shield. But no, it's an unbelievable story, and
which, in all seriousness, it does prove of what I forgot what the name of Johnny's witness of the psychiatrist in her notes, but what she said that in all seriousness, like, this is 100% signs of someone with borderline personality disorder, where they're making up all these claims and can't keep their story straight and stuff like that. And it is really sad, because I actually do think Amber actually has something, but that's no excuse to destroy someone's life and reputation.
Yeah, I think
because
it's
clear
insane.
that she is insane. She is mentally ill, and she is controlling, and it's not fair to Johnny, and it actually wasn't fair to his ex-wife. But I'm not exactly sure what happened, because did Johnny cheat on his ex-wife with Amber?
No,
while they were still
he
married?
said they had already separated. I mean, I guess they were still officially married, but he said that they had never they hadn't slept in the same bed for like a year and a half.
But then just look at there's photographs of her and James Franco getting into an elevator late at night, so that Johnny wasn't.
Elon Musk too.
Was
Elon Musk too.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like, all this stuff she's claiming Johnny did, she did. Like, I have to be secret when I come home, because Johnny will get mad.
No, it like I said, it was an unbelievable story, and when you hear the level of abuse that she claims to have sustained, and then you see so little damage. She claimed that he broke her nose by headbutting her. okay, if that had happened and that photo was taken immediately after, which is what she insinuated, then both of her eyes would be black. She would have 2 black eyes, because when your nose gets broken, you get immediate hematomas under the skin right around your eye sockets. It's why when people go in for nose surgeries in which they have to actually break the nose bone, you end up with black eyes. I even had something similar when I had to get a rhinoplasty. So that there, yeah, no, not believing that. Also, if all this abuse took place and on so many separate occasions you actually had blood, then where were all the photos of those? And for her to say like, oh, I just wasn't thinking about that, because they question her, okay, was your vagina in pain? And she says, oh, I wasn't thinking about that. You weren't thinking about that. You had what you claim was a broken bottle shoved inside of you, and you said you bled all over the carpet. You ran upstairs.
God.
How could you have even walked?
It just makes me cringe just thinking about it.
It makes me cringe because it's such an obvious lie.
Well, it's such an obvious lie, but it also... I don't wish that upon anybody.
No, nobody would. That's totally crazy. That's
except my enemies.
just them?
Just them.
Oh, gosh.
My enemies being very vague.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It was vague as Amber
Let's
heard.
see. Angron says, only way Amber wins this if the female jury members cultivize around women and the male juror members simp for moderately attractive women. I want to say Nick said he did hear and found out that I think the majority of the people on the jury team are males. If not, it's like
come to me
50-50. But yeah, we're hoping that they're not woke assholes.
I really hope not.
I really hope not too. But I think it's one of those things where, again, it showcases that men are starting to fight back. Of like, no, I did not do this and stuff like that. But I mean, we can only pray. If Amber pops a blood vessel and dies on the courtroom, that ends the case. We all live in a yellow submarine.
Yeah,
I think Nick said actually, if someone actually, depending on where the trial's taking place, that I think if someone involved in the case actually does die, the case actually still goes on.
Really? Just to clear the person's name or what?
Yeah, just to, I guess, complete it. I mean, because I guess a family could get residuals or something like that. I don't remember what he said, but like someone asked that and he answered it. But in some states, like the case would still get picked up and continued. Interesting.
Because I remember being on jury once, and the case that we were all on ended up, one of the people was convicted of all charges. The other one, there just wasn't enough evidence to be able to convict them. It was hard to even put the person at the scene, but the judge informed us that the person was going to be tried again. So I'm like, huh, that's interesting, because no verdict was reached. So it was an interesting happening. What? I got bit by a rat? Oh no, I got shot by a dude.
I was gonna say, there's people still coming. I think they threw a knife or something.
Man, I thought I would have eaten the rat.
Oh man, I thought they were free.
Oh man.
Free. Hopping in.
But that's what I got. A lot of craziness there.
The stream tends to freeze up randomly. The game or the stream? Because it might be the bit rate.
Could be. But of course, I hope to God that none of that happened. I am pretty well certain that none of it happened. And I can't wait to see what happens on Cross, because I don't think that she'll be able to keep her story straight. And it's another one of those things where Johnny lost his entire livelihood just about because of hearsay and people's inability to either do an internal investigation and figure out where the truth actually lied, or
Uzis.
Or if they did do an internal investigation, they didn't search hard enough.
Stream. I mean, it says it's on excellent. I don't see any frame drops. It might be on YouTube's then.
I wonder if we can slide through those little fire bullets.
Federal cases too. It's how we get the NFA. Defendant died, so his lawyer doesn't show up in front of the Supreme Court of the United States. Now we can't own fun guns.
Oh, Yeah, I had to totally mod my rifle for it to be New York legal. Wasn't real stoked about that. It was dumb. Real dumb.
All of it could have been avoided.
I know. If somebody wasn't asleep on guard duty, now who's gonna tell Mrs. Joe that her boy ain't coming home? I love that, Mrs. Joe.
Chaos, Smash 60, or it's just me. I don't know. I personally think it's YouTube. Like, I changed the bit rate on this so many times, and I get tired of doing it because it doesn't. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm trying to get out of here. I was just trying to get my thing, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get my thing.
All right.
Oh, you can't slide through them.
That's all the notes you said you had?
That's what I got, man. That's what I got.
Let's see.
That craziness.
Yeah, a lot of insanity happening. Trying to think of like some stuff in the old entertainment sphere.
Well, did you see that there was this op-ed hit piece came out about Tim Pool? They're trying to demonetize him on YouTube now.
I've never been a big Tim Pool person, but I did not hear about that.
Yeah, they're trying to demonetize him, and Tim has been swatted like 7 times now already.
Nick's been swatted a couple times.
Yeah, I saw that. That is
which is funny because he even said he's like, I actually know the police and stuff, so he knows like the guys who showed up. I don't. That to me, I don't understand how you. Like, you got to be able to file something against the police, even though it's not their fault, and I know they're supposed to go to check it. But isn't there something like where, like, can't you file? Damn it! Can't you file something like against the police? Like, say for example, like you keep running into to traffic we'll just say supposed traffic violations, and it's the same guy. You can actually file for like harassment or something because it's the same cop.
I think so.
Like something that's something I don't like if it's even possible to. Man, I'm trying to do it like Battletoads.
I did it,
but I'm failing. I'm failing.
You gotta
big time.
do it like Ninja Turtles, dude. Speaking of Ninja Turtles, check us out. Okay, so for those who
Cowabunga,
dude,
video game that's changed thing, you might as well just ROM it.
So for anybody who out there who works out and takes supplements to help your muscles get that swole on, over at GNC, I saw they have this advertisement on one of the windows there, advertising a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pre-workout supplement. And they of course have all the colors of the guys. They've got Mikey, they got Don, they got Leonardo, and Raph. So it's you got blue, orange, red, and purple. And I'm not sure if it's a creatine or an amino acid matrix or what, but wow, we're really taking our workout game to a whole new level, aren't we?
Yeah.
We want to train like a turtle.
Chaos Smash 64 actually brings up a good question that I think that's something we can talk about. What are the chances that Elon Musk buys YouTube and kicks out Susan Waluigi? Actually, and I heard the Quartering and then Brittany Venti, Quartering was on her show, and they were actually talking about. They actually brought up a question of, do you think Musk should have bought YouTube instead of Twitter? That might be something interesting to talk about. I still think it was probably a good choice to buy Twitter than YouTube, but yeah,
I think it would be a good move for him to purchase it, but it depends on exactly how far he wants to take this and what his plans are currently. Because right now, he's going to probably end up altering the business model for Twitter pretty significantly. Because he's going to generate revenue off there, because it's such a huge conglomerate that you would be stupid as a business person who's running ads on there to take your ads off just because of a difference in ideology. It's inane to even think that. It would be cool if he did buy YouTube, for sure. But even if he does, I think it's going to be a little bit before we even find out. But if he did, I would love to see him make it a free speech bastion as well, and reinstate people who have been demonetized, reinstate their monetization. Like Steven Crowder, his channel is demonetized, both of his channels, even though the behavior that got his one channel demonetized was not exhibited on his other channel. They still demonetized both channels, so they broke their own rules, and they demonetized him for an infraction that they claim wasn't even in their rules for demonetization. They just caved to Vox, and then that guy from Vox ended up getting fired because he's a creepy weirdo.
YouTube runs at a loss,
dude. They're perpetually, because here's the thing about kowtowing to weakness. Kowtowing to weakness can only keep you at the same level or weaker, because you're not trying to make a play for strong individuals. So you're perpetually surrounding yourself with those who, as I said, are as weak or even weaker than you are. So you have to, if you're a broken finger, you splint that broken finger to the stronger finger that's right next to it. That way it can grow strong again. YouTube should have aligned themselves with people who stood for truth and hunting that truth at all costs, because then they wouldn't be in this predicament. They would have way more supporters. They would have tons more revenue, because I guarantee you a lot of people who aren't advertising on YouTube would consider it, if not outright just give them their ad campaign 100%, because of the access that it allows them, the impartiality that would hopefully be exhibited. Like we're seeing now on Twitter, like I mentioned that one comment where the guy's having this thought experiment out online about, oh, you know, what if somebody just killed one of these or two of these judges? Well, his account didn't get banned and the tweet didn't get pulled, save but by him, because Elon is proving that he is one for free speech. Oh, here we go.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it says I'm willing to wait patiently. Twitter comes first. Makes me think too, like, because Google has YouTube. I'm wondering, like, if it's one of those things where, like, if Elon could get enough stock to have a sway, or if you could just buy YouTube from Google or something like that. Like, I'm kind of curious of, like, what the...
You'd probably have to purchase it from Google, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
They purchased it for what, 15 billion, I think? 15 billion?
15 billion? I'll take your word for it. I don't exactly know. Bordering made a good point of that while there's some stuff of YouTube that's clearly unfair, for the most part, it's kind of okay. I think it'd be sick if Elon bought YouTube, if it went back to like the good times of like 2006 or like the early stuff where Viacom and all those assholes didn't have unfair grips and all that crap.
Where you could actually find what you were looking for and not just be hit with random content that is from the bigger channels. It's like if you punch in any news story, you're going to get just the news stations on those top probably 20 videos. You're not going to get any independent sources. And it's really stupid.
Don't even go on like what's trending, because everything's just going to be hot garbage.
Dude, yeah.
I haven't looked on the trending page in ages.
Well, their commercials have also, like their YouTube specific ones, they have gotten just really, really cringy and dumb. The acting is terrible.
Still running into that garbage Yvonne the Lost thing, that one I told you about, where it's like, you tired of playing all the games that don't end up, like, I got that. I keep getting that one all the time. And I'm like, this
got your number, Greg.
I know. Which is funny, because I don't even know what I did to, like, be like, oh, this guy must like it, because something. I'm like, yeah, I never clicked this.
He always clicks off it real fast. Must mean that he wants to just get through the commercial so we can see it again.
Yes, Jesus Christ. Yes, old YouTube. I know. The good old days where things were different.
Days when Smosh could get away with anything.
I've been watching some Smosh stuff. Like, it's still like old, like when it was uploaded. And there's like some behind the scenes stuff where they watched some of their old videos, and they said some, like, you know, what high school kids did back in the day, calling each other homos and stuff like that. They're all embarrassed about it. They're like, that was before we were woke. And I was like, that was probably when people actually liked it, because you didn't cave.
Did you say that was before we were woke?
Oh, dude, they were like, oh yeah,
that was before we were woke.
We became woke or what?
Yeah. Oh my god,
I'm just like,
that's sad.
But Smosh has gone off downhill stuff because I believe Anthony left because the company they were working for, he felt he was creatively stifled. Ian stayed, and then of course you literally have your
was Anthony the editor inside the one, or was that Ian?
Yeah,
okay,
Anthony was the editor and Ian was the boss and editor. But
this OG look hot.
but now it's just, I mean, literally a checklist of who's part of the Smosh team. You got your Asian chick, you got your gay black dude, you have Ian.
Oh, they got a gay black dude? Dude,
I think so.
I'm in, man.
I think so.
I am maybe in for I don't know. I don't know. Now.
I'm making a speculation based off of my observation. I mean, I don't give a shit because
you got a gay black guy, dude. They check 2 boxes right there. LGBT. Oh, the sky's getting dark. Yeah, I would like to see. I mean, it's tough for me to just say I'd like to see Elon do it, because sure, I think anybody would who actually cares about free speech and truth. But
same one. Ava shit.
It's hard also to try and lay all that responsibility on the shoulders of one guy. Now I know he has a team, of course. But like I'm not expecting Elon to solve all my woes in terms of communication and speaking. The impetus is on us as individuals who use the platform. Oh whoa, that's dang. We fighting Satan himself?
I don't know who we're fighting, but he looks angry.
He looks mad,
and he has a skull in his stomach.
His face is a skull, but he's made it
clearly
work for him.
pro-choice.
Oh, dude, totally.
Or no,
the baby's dead inside him.
I don't know.
It's a full-grown baby, though.
A full one. Would he be pro-life? Because it's still there. It's just a skull.
And he's pregnant too. That's crazy, dude. Look at that thing.
No, he's like Grim Reaper.
What? We get set on fire by the.
Sorry, you guys need to read more about the matter. What matter are you talking about, Rod? Will you guys be playing Metal Slug XX after Anthology?
We already beat the X. Wait, XX.
XX. I'm not exactly sure.
Wait, what matter are we talking about?
Proven misinformation can make riots in the capitals. Oh, dude. Oh, Rod. No. Don't be throwing around the word misinformation.
No, we like to call those
something
lies.
Like Twitter shouldn't belong to one person. Disagree. If you can do it, then do it.
If you own, it's probably because it was a private company to begin with, and then they decided to actually go corporate with it. So you had early investors like Gary Vee and some of those guys.
Rod the commie. Man, crying going ham.
Well, the thing is,
Metal Slug XS is 7, but upgraded. If it's part of Anthologies, it should be in here.
I think
what
it was
are we on?
6. We're on 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, this might be our last one.
Yeah. The thing about the idea of
power to the people.
Speech inciting riots. There is inherently speech that is inherently there is speech that is inherently hateful. Oh. Yes, but hate speech as defined by leftists does not exist, because speech itself is not violence. Now, whether I call for violence is one thing. Whether people
it's separate from the anthology. Oh, then we may not get it.
Yeah. Whether people listen to my call for violence is an entirely different thing altogether, because if I say that the speech itself is what is the compulsion, then I remove any of the responsibility from those who hear said speech and do anything about it. And yes, there's an element of a hive mind that happens when people get into a mob, but it still does not remove the individual responsibility from being what drives people forward. Also with speech, it's like I prefer to have speech. I prefer to have a place where I can have speech from people whom I agree with and don't agree with, or whom I like and don't like, because therein you actually have the free flow of ideas. The only way to ensure that this nation continues down an even darker path is if we police speech and disallow people the opportunity to actually speak what is on their hearts and minds, without going so far as to call for immediate violence on somebody, to threaten somebody's livelihood, or do like the whole call the police and make a phony claim thing. Things that are actually illegal under our code of laws and protect the speech constitutionally. But to the
oh man, there's a lot of happening.
Oh, is there? Ooh.
Let's see. Says you say power to the people, that always goes to power to the governments. It's Angron. They already have the power, dummy. You think people on the right care about the common folk? You are one delusional person. I don't know if that's like to us or Angron. And that would give them more bad. And then Kylie says, Polly want a cracker. Right now you have 2 right-wing parties. No.
Have
sorry.
2 what?
Right-wing parties. No.
Like Kylie said that?
No, Rod said that.
Oh. No.
Police should be privatized, to be honest. There's no real left in the USA. I have my ass off. You know the systemic system that oppresses people should belong to Jeff Bezos. It's getting a little hot in here, chat.
Well, it is getting a little hot in this chat. I like it though. You know, and I will say, guys, you know, try to avoid name calling as much as possible, because we don't want to descend to malicious levels. But I mean, like, argue the point firmly.
Well, I'm one of Nick's things. Don't spam.
Yeah, don't
spam. Obviously, don't try your best not to insult people. We all can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
No. If anything, Rod, the system, we hate both sides. I mean, I do at least. I think the one side that claims that they support the common folk have been saying that forever, i.e. the left, and they don't. They actually don't care about the common people. But there's also people on the right who also don't care about the common people either, because they refuse to change their ways.
Yeah. It's like the Republicans in name only. It's like you guys say all the big things, but then you have Lindsey Graham, who turns down for what, and everybody's calling him Lindsey Graham 2.0 or Golden Graham when he stood up for Brett Kavanaugh. But then you have him essentially say, hey, somebody needs to assassinate Vladimir Putin in one of his tweets, and it's like, whoa, dude, you're saying the quiet part out loud right now. Again, that's a conversation that happens behind closed doors, and the CIA is more than likely involved. Or don't just go winging that out there into the aether.
ANCAP libertarianism is the future, says Angron. The left live off of blood and despair. Chaos smash. Both parties serve capital. If you can't open your eyes, that's on you, not me. I mean, if you're talking about, I mean, I don't want to speak for Eric, but I believe there's demonic powers happening wherever it's happening, sort of thing. If that demonic power wants capital, then yeah, by all means.
Thing is, and that's why
it exists. Yeah, and that's on both sides.
Yeah,
I believe that the elitists are out there. To semi-quote Tom McDonald, I believe that the elites are real, and they're drinking baby's blood, because going off of my faith and the biblical stuff on that, they worship idols that involve sacrifice and stuff like that. So I'm not at all surprised.
Number 6. How do we go back? And you? Oh, nice. Yeah, what's
ANCAP? I'm not exactly sure.
Anarcho-capitalism.
You mean the current left in America?
Anarcho-capitalism is a more extreme form of libertarianism, and unfortunately, it is incompatible with Christianity, as is extreme libertarianism. So it depends on where you line up on your faith, but there's a number of people out there who do think that you can be an anarcho-capitalist Christian, and those people that have not read their Bible. And if they have read the Bible, they have not understood the Bible, and have not actually been given the knowledge by the good old Holy Spirit to understand what is really inside there. Ooh, let's go easy.
That says force. Man, I thought
4 stages. Wait,
I have no idea.
Oh,
this seems foreign to me. I feel like I haven't played that. Can you push start?
Yeah.
Clark. We have power, defense, and speed now. Ralph apparently seems to be
Wait, do we have a health bar now?
Average. I don't know what we have.
Dude, I'm going this old boy. Ew, Clark. His sab eradicates.
If the left doesn't pull strings to favor the people, it's because they don't care to do so. Wait, what happened? Oh,
it shows Tarma for you.
Oh, what the fuck?
Ooh, this is interesting looking. Wait, so Lawrence. Wait, we have infinite machine guns? Wait, why isn't my turbo fire working?
Can't push.
Oh. We have an alternate attack? Wait.
Metal Slug 4. Does that just default it back to, here, let me see. Was that L1?
I don't see an alternate.
I don't know.
Oh, you can kick people? Dude, you can kick if you're holding down R1. That's funny. All right, cool. Dude, machine gun from the beginning?
Mine's not doing anything.
Heck yeah.
Oh, R1? I can't kick anybody.
You gotta hold R1 at the same time and then push the fire button and you kick.
I am.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you're just not doing a roundhouse kick because you're not as cool as me.
No, I'm pretty gay.
Dude, I'm wearing a hat and glasses, but you're
Let's
also
see.
wearing glasses.
Imagine having hegemony and still having a plague of homeless people increase every day, not bad at night. People are getting pushed out of their homes because the real estate lobbyists, that's more houses than homeless people.
Who said
Clark
that?
and Ralph are guest characters from Akari Warriors and King of Fighters. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, dude. I was wondering about the
Whoever
hat.
is generous to the poor lends to the Lord and will repay him for his deeds. I mean, Jesus also said the poor, there's going to be poor people until he comes back.
Absolutely.
So.
And he also said, whatever you've done to the least of these, you've done also unto me. So, I mean, you can give to anybody.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's playing for the long game, too. That's playing for the big game. That's
Beyond
playing
charity,
for...
giving people a fair chance to have fulfilling life. It's beyond charity to give people fulfilling.
Well, the other thing is like, we're promised a certain protection for our rights inside here. The first one, the unspoken one, is your right to freedom of conscience. And then after that, you have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're not promised happiness. Even the Bible doesn't promise us happiness. It does say that the joy of the Lord is our strength, but that's a choice that you have to make, a choice to be joyful in the face of uncertainty or in the face of pain or in the face of loss. So doing all that you can to give people the opportunity and the chance to enjoy life to the fullest, yeah, I think that's a noble goal, definitely.
With the wrench fairy, says Kylie. A wrench fairy.
Holy crap, what is going on here?
I'm trying to remember if I played this when I did my anthology playthrough, because I don't remember this at all.
This is dope, man. I'm liking this. We're destroying a train of AT-ATs, I think.
I have no idea. It's like the train. It's like a centipede.
Dude, there's a
Human
baby chick
centipede.
around me. What was that? Wait, you're gonna do a chicken. Look at that. I had a baby. We had a chicken.
Got a bandana now. Pretty cool.
There's a lot going on
Who
here.
giveth of the wrench taketh it away.
You know what they say? You either definitely should play with matches, or you definitely shouldn't.
Either one or the other. I don't know. The graphics seem a little less impressive.
It's like they painted the background almost like
Yeah, I'm a little.
it's like extra smooth.
And it's not the filter. I'm a little disappointed. It's very offsetting.
It reminds me of when they did Mega Man 8 for PlayStation, and it was more I guess crisp and real.
I mean, they could have blended it better.
I don't know. Let's call
weird.
them right now and tell them how upset we are at them.
Discount ghetto centipede train, Mad Max centipede or centipede. I keep saying centipede because of the South Park human centipede.
Centipad. Centerpad. Oh yeah. Give you the centerpad. Hey, gold bat. I don't know what to do with it.
I don't know.
Dude, they give me 30,000 points. Dang. What is this charge up thing? Is that
I don't know what's happening.
alternate? Oh crap. Well,
Oh, I'm maxed.
what does that mean? What does it mean?
Let's see if I push.
Did I get burned? Did I get burned? Did I get burned? How did I get burned?
I'd have to read the. Hold on.
I don't know what this is.
Attack, alternate attack.
Can we
I don't get that.
switch weapons with triangle? What?
I don't.
What?
Don't explain this really well.
What did you do? Huh. I don't. Maybe that's for like combos or something. I don't even know.
Oh crap! I switched controls.
Why did you do that for, Greg?
I don't know.
Oh shoot! Ooh. Hey, the Iron Lizard almost took me down.
Armor repairs the metal slug.
Dude, that's awesome. What does my guy do? You said he has something that blows up or what have you?
I have no idea. I'd have to look it up.
I see this max thing, but I don't know what to do with it. I just want to make it do.
Yeah, I don't know. Can we just? That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do. Just me jumping around like a freak.
Wish I knew what you were saying.
I need a switch.
Oh, you screwed it up, Greg. You screwed it up.
Default.
Default. I gotta say, I'm enjoying having a machine gun right out the gate, right up his nose. No way, dude! Did you only lose one life? Nice. I'm liking it. So here's an interesting thing.
Clark Blue Guy can grapple enemies, and Ralph Red Dude can rapidly punch enemies. Okay.
All right, somebody explain to me what this max out thing is then, because I don't understand it. Oh my goodness, there's the butcher of the bay. So
what are we gonna say?
Oh, okay, so check this out. So inside the entertainment world, as I'm sure you're well aware, there's any number of product placements that go into movies and shows and whatnot. I don't know if you remember this. There was a commercial a while back where it was trying to place, I guess, a cigarette ad, and it was showing like the idea of placing a certain kind of ad within a commercial. And I think the actual commercial itself was supposed to be of some vampire movie like Twilight or something like that, and they end up cutting the scene in the middle because somebody's blocking, I think, the cigarette billboard in the background at some point like that.
Okay.
But I've been thinking about it a lot more. And you ever notice how when you watch...
All right, Chaos. Thanks for at least telling us a little bit about it.
But you ever notice how, like, back in the days of watching reality television, how when you'd see them, if it was Real World or something like that, and they were inside the kitchen, and you see somebody pull a soda bottle out of the fridge, they would almost always have the label on it blurred out.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder. And now that I mentioned this, I guarantee you, next movie you watch, you won't be able to not look for it. But it makes me wonder.
Look for product advertisement. I kind of noticed that a long time ago.
Well, it makes me wonder exactly to what degree do these advertisers pay to have their... I'm pulling a cannon with my burro.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, this is great. Oh wow, this is so awesome. Tom needs to be watching this right now. But it makes me wonder exactly how much do you think some of these advertisers actually pay to have these ads placed?
No, I have a Sonic. Oh, I had a Sonic like knife thing.
It's cool. Or how much do you think, or like when you watch a movie that's like in the Marvel cinematic universe, and you notice all the computers are of a specific brand, or you'll see how everything is turned to face the camera. Makes me also wonder, okay, is there a person on set that is either affiliated with the companies that are paying for these spots, or is there somebody who's like a key director or a key grip who's in charge of making sure that all the shots that are supposed to have whatever product in have the product placed just so? Because I wouldn't put it past Hollywood to do something like that.
Come on.
So here's another question. What if we start seeing product placement like on the floor of the Senate? Like, how funny would it be to see Joe Manchin just walking in, he's drinking Red Bull one day, and every time he sets his can down he has to turn it? Or like the one time he's holding his hand on the can, you see somebody walk over and tap him on the shoulder and whisper in his ear, and he takes his hand off the can and it's back to being the fully visible can that it is.
It'd be pretty funny.
I don't know, those are just kind of the weird musings I have.
I think all men are created equal. You've never met someone in truly poverty.
We're all created spiritually equal, not physically, and not socially, and not financially.
An average of $22,000 per placement.
Dang. Is that for real? Be crazy if it was.
Jeez, wait. Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, it's Shagohod.
How did that not kill you is my question.
Because I'm riding on its skis. Okay. Okay. Oh. What?
A big old rocket. It's just gonna shoot a rocket to target us. That seems kind of.
It's gonna try and blow up the bridge. What?
That's not how rockets work.
Yeah, what happened to the rocket? It just
just goes back.
Got shot down by the drone in Israel. Dude. Oh, look, he's doing the move from Streets of Rage. That's awesome.
We're at 10 minutes before 2 hours.
Heck yeah.
Welcome to SNK Logic.
Dude.
Pretty much. Oh no, we're being kidnapped.
It makes me happy.
Wait, why are the aliens working? Yeah. You guys tried this before.
Wait, what?
Now...
Wait, what? Whoa, dude! They're eating the brains. Oh.
Why did this guy just team up with the aliens again? You knew that they portrayed him once.
Did they just pants him?
I don't think he has any pants.
What is going on here? So aliens came, and now what? A bigger, badder alien is coming after them? Is that the brain guy that we killed?
I don't know.
They were trying to pull the brain back out of the water. The bugmen are here. Whoa.
They're like, you're bug frog people.
Dude, this is
probing time.
All sorts of wild hair.
I was born poor as fuck, says Angron. Now own my own home, car, and have a great job because I worked my ass off for high school through my 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my
ain't no probing time. So you're saying that if you can do it, everyone else can. Correct? That's literally personal bias.
No, I didn't say if I can do it, anybody else. Oh,
that was towards.
Yeah, no, it's not if you can do it, anybody else can. You just have to, because it depends on what it is. It depends on whether you consider success to be, hey, I've got a solid 9 to 5 that pays me $12 an hour, or I want to have the yacht. I want to have the 3 cars, the 2 kids, the dog, and a cat. It depends on what your version of it is. But the bootstrap mentality has to be what carries you forward, because otherwise, if you sit around waiting for a handout, you're not actually winning at life. You're getting a meager pittance for somebody looking at you with I don't want to say disdain, but looking at you with forced apathy. And nobody needs forced apathy. It's like, that's why when people talk about God, why would he make a world in which sin exists? Why would he make a world in which we couldn't choose him? Well, it's because love that is forced isn't actually love at all. You have to give somebody the choice. So I mean, you have the choice to go, anybody has a choice to make something different of their lives than what they started out with. Just like my father, he came from Puerto Rico. His family, they moved here to the States when he was about 4 or 5 years old. He lived in New York. When he was living in New York, the area that he lived in was a really, really high gang area. And he was targeted, him and his family, by a black gang. And they came out one day and they shattered all the windows in their house. They left to come back and kill everybody and burn the house down that night. So my grandma had to pack up her 5 children in the evening and leave at 2 in the morning to never come back to that home. But my dad didn't let that stop him from having success in life. The next place that they moved to, more violence followed them, and they ended up having to move in the middle of the day this time around. But again, they didn't let that stop them. And my dad's family was poor. They were not well off at all. It wasn't until he ended up moving to Illinois where he finally had an actual shot at doing something approximating masonry, and actually working into the Bricklayers Union. But there, he still had to fight tooth and nail. So it's not saying that, hey, just because I did it, you can do it too. It comes down to what is the it. Because just because my dad moved here from Puerto Rico and became a mason doesn't mean that you can do it too, because you may not have the skills or the steadiness of hand to sandblast or to patch holes cosmetically in cement panels. But say you both lived in the same area inside Puerto Rico and they said, hey, I moved and I made something of myself, you can too. That is where you can say, yes, I made something of myself, you can make something of yourself too. Because there's personal responsibility that has to take precedence.
Not about, oh man, there's just a lot. Not about thinking you are better. It's about who has equal chances. Life is unfair, man. You gotta accept that.
We're not gonna have equal chances at all. You have to make do with the cards you got. And I've seen guys bluff a hand before and take a whole table for lots and lots of money. So you have to. Oh shoot! They sucked my body out.
I was gonna say, because they were like,
dude,
it looks like they were sucking the brains.
We're trying to kill
of
these people. We gotta save these people. Dang.
Oh wow.
Yeah, your journey. Everybody's journey is gonna be different, and we're not all gonna get the same chances.
Zombos, because the system is rigged to make the rich richer. I mean, there's elitists out there, but I think that's part of where I think the brainwashing comes into play, is that they want you to think the system is rigged.
Well, and to a degree, there are systems within the system in play to keep the rich rich, and that's just the way that they play it. Doesn't mean that we have to like it, and doesn't mean that we have to accept it, but you still have to take your own personal cross.
Not to mention they hate, like, I believe they hate everyone. So they know the people that'll get riled up because of the whole rich inequality and all that stuff, and then there's other people who play on the different thing. They all play. They're creating chaos, so they have something that we would all turn to and be like, save us.
Yep. Like
oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff happening.
Hey, it's good. We like a lively chat, but
lively chat. I don't know. I feel like a lot of that comes from fear that there's a fear of, by declaring the system's rigged, it's because, and then it's like, there's rich people and they don't care about poor people. That comes from a fear of thinking that if given the like, and this is what we've been saying forever, like, the Bible, the good book does say, like, go ahead and, like, be generous and give to people. You determine on how much you give, though. No one has the right to tell you how to spend your money.
Yeah, or bemoan you for how much you do give.
On how much you give. That comes from a fear of thinking that no one is ever going to be generous, sort of thing. Which, there's just generous people out there.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think it's rather ignorant to think that, that if people were, that the government needs to control everything and give money to everybody because people won't.
No.
It's like, nah. There's generous people out there.
Yeah, but you also have to align yourself with something that is stronger than emotions. You have to actually align yourself with something that is immovable, something that is actually true, because we can all live. We can all live from an emotional place. Whoa, we beat him in number 3. He's back.
He seems a little upset.
He is upset. Oh crap.
He done pulled his corner out of my ear.
Ichigo Kurisaki's in the real world. Remember reading that manga. I couldn't tell you how it ended.
Oh shoot. Oh crap.
Name calling?
What is going on?
Don't be. You know what I meant? The amount of control you truly have over your life is so small. Wait, game over? Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, we have very little control over what actually happens to us. All we can really do is pivot. All we can really do is react.
We all have a control over how we respond to stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, at some point the answer, at some point, to quote Rocky,
there you go.
To quote Rocky from Rocky Balboa, there comes a point to where you're just blaming it on a shadow that you can't name, and it's because of that's where you are, and that's at some point in time that becomes the coward's way out, to say, well, I'm not here because of this, I'm not here because of that, and I'm not here because of that. Is there areas in the world where that's significantly harder to have those opportunities to live the dream, I guess you could say, or to do it? Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
That's why a lot of people are very happy about America, because that's the whole point, is that you have the availability and the freedom to go out and do it. We're not doing it for you. Now, there's actually people out there that will actually help you try to succeed. you know, catch him, give a man a fish, you know, feed him one day, teach him how to fish, he'll feed himself for a lifetime, sort of thing. Like that's I mean, and to me that always just felt right to begin with, to where if you have the knowledge to like get to utilize it and to utilize it and to make a living off of it, do it. And there's just a lot of people that don't like being told, you know, they don't like being told how to spend their money, they don't like being told this and that, and I think that you have the absolute right to just be left alone and stuff like that. And if your fear of thinking, well, that person's never gonna donate or never be generous, that's your paranoia, I guess.
Yeah, and you may be right, but like I said before, you don't have to like it. It's like in the beginning of Indiana Jones Last Crusade, when he's hell-bent on getting the Cross of Coronado, and he's standing there in the house, and the sheriff shows up, and he's like, yeah, I'm glad you still have it. And he says, the guy looks at him and goes, look, kid, you lost today, but it doesn't mean that you have to like it. And so it was more or less the challenge was thrown down. Okay, so what are you going to do about it now? Because you can do something about it. You're not stuck. You're not chained to this moment.
It was never needed.
Never needed again.
It was never needed. Take him out of the equation and everything still would have fell into place. Although that one was Lost Ark, right? That wasn't the Last Crusade.
No, that was Last Crusade. Wait, what are you talking about? Who wasn't needed?
If Indiana Jones was just not involved in the storyline, like everything still would have fallen into place. You've heard of that, right?
Lost Ark?
Yeah, I think it's the Lost Ark, right? Because they still would have found everything. The biggest thing is Big Bang Theory made the comment about that, where it was like they were like, "Oh, the Lost Ark is like a perfect movie," and what's her name? Sheldon's girlfriend Amy is like,
I suppose
he was never needed. Like he was completely irrelevant to the whole story because sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess if he, because
they would have found everything.
Yeah, because if he hadn't gotten to Marion first and gotten that medallion, then they would have gotten the medallion. They would have dug in the right place.
Still, yeah, they still would have died. They still would have done everything.
That'd have been so funny. And then you just have an island somewhere with a bunch of dead members of the Second Reich.
So according to everyone present here, sometimes life sucks, and even though the system is against you and completely rigged for capital owners to thrive, you should just accept it. Got it.
That's not what we're saying. I've said already like 8 times you don't have to accept it. And there are systems within the system that are definitely rigged and definitely skewed against us.
Ryan needs an ice cream or hugs. That's kind of everyone loves ice cream.
Yeah, I could use it.
I think that's a hint.
Is that a hint, Kylie? Blink once.
I mean, it is 9:03. We are past.
Oh yeah, we could probably.
We are past our.
Probably clear this.
Straw man found. Kylie says she does want some. Oh, that's the tone.
Well, all right.
What a lively topic.
For real.
A lively discussion. Now, well, I think we have some somber. I mean, we'll try to figure it out. I think we do have some.
You can let it play in the background.
We do have some somber news. Is that I believe this might be, for a while, a last in-house version of Hot Button Co-op, just due to life changes and needing to take care of the family first and whatnot. Eric is going to be moving back to New York for a little while. Get help with that youngin.
Yep, it's gonna be a new adventure we're moving on to. So we really thank you guys for hanging out with us, everybody in the chat, all y'all, even those who we have differences of opinion with or dissenting opinions. It's nice to be able to get together once a week and just collectively kind of blow off steam and recap on the fun happenings.
I'm sorry, Angron says why New York sucks.
Yeah, New York does suck.
I mean, that's
family's there, so
family. I mean, yeah, that's his. That's if Eric wants to share.
Yeah,
that's.
I'm not gonna get too far into it, but it's gonna be a good change. I'm anticipating, and I'm excited for the next chapter. Things are unfortunately. In entertainment, anime, more to the point, they've pretty much dried up for me. Apart from maybe a couple legacy characters, like I know Ideo in One Piece, an arc. I think of 14 episodes or something like that in the show. And then if Rappa ever comes back in My Hero Academia, or if they make a new game, I might get to reprise those.
Don't worry, pup. There will be a remedy.
Solution.
Yes, I am working on it.
Solution.
Yeah. We'll try to. I would still like to try to get this going on. I'm just gonna have to see, because I know StreamYard like is really helpful with bringing like guests in and stuff. But I tried using StreamYard to multi-stream with, and there's like an echo. Maybe I can try to fix it. So we'll figure something out.
Yeah. Well, we could even check out what is it? Not Streamlabs.
I said StreamYard.
I know, but isn't there another one?
There's Melon. So.
We'll figure it out, because it may be a thing where we just have the game that's being featured just being on Greg's end, and I'll be playing with him on the other end, so you'll see me running around in the background, then we'll both be picture in picture.
Well, yeah, we could do that, and I would have to make sure get audio feed through to hear what you had to say.
Yeah,
as well. StreamYard. I know I live in Syracuse. Oh, chaos.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's cool.
My condolences. Lived there to go to college. Wanted to kill myself at least 3 times a day, says Angron. Oh my gosh.
Well, thankfully, we're not going to be.
Because isn't that bad? And the majority of New York is red. The city is what makes it horrible, says Kylie Stewart. StreamYard. Yeah. Well, I need to look into StreamYard, because I did dabble with StreamYard to try to actually play stream, because it was actually the cheapest options. But I was having audio feedback, but that could just be me not setting stuff up right. On another note, though, I'm actually trying to start a podcast or a show here where I'd like to get guests and just talk about, you know, anime, video games, and what have you. Just whatever, like trading card. There's not really a limit here, but it was mostly just to talk about that time in the past where we just enjoyed everything, where you could just enjoy being entertained without anything happening, and kind of just, you know, talk to the person about what happened. When did you start noticing like stuff starting to get rejected and stuff like that? And get people's things and just connect together just about the genre and just enjoying the genre. So that's something I've been toying around with too. And I do have some guests in mind, and I've been talking with one where they pretty much said, you know, when it gets founded, let me know and I'll contact them. So that might be something. I'm trying to think of a name. I'm always bad at names, but I'm thinking calling it Meteor Break.
Meteor Break.
It's Turles' ultimate move from Dragon Ball Z. Oh. It's the move where Piccolo does his special beam cannon and he stops it. Like, that was hot and spicy and like blows him away. The video game calls it Meteor Break, and I was like, that seems pretty cool, but I don't know. I just been calling it my Meteor Break, so that seems pretty good.
I like it.
Hit me up on Twitter, says Angron. Oh yeah, you can find all of us on in the descriptions below. But that's kind of my plans, and of course I'll be streaming and stuff like that. But that is sadly
gonna be it for a little bit.
Gonna be it for Hot Button Co-op. Hiatus. I don't know to declare if it indefinite or not.
I say a temporary hiatus.
Yeah, temporary hiatus. At least a month and a half. I would probably.
Yeah, and if nothing else, we can still have our Hot Button Co-op. Hot Button Co-op. It might not see us playing the game, but hopefully it will be.
Chaos Master says Hellzone Grenade. Oh yeah, Piccolo's Hellzone Grenade.
Hellzone Grenade.
Yeah, that might be pretty cool. I think echo can get fixed if you increase the sound threshold since you're in the same room. If you minimize the room of the mic to pick up the sound, fix it. Well, I'm talking like when I actually tried it on StreamYard with the game audio. There was a double echo sort of thing. That's something to fix out. But it's great to see a lot of people. Smash that like button. Check out our social medias in the description. Hit us up. Like I said, Eric, you'll be absent off of Twitter for at least a month because you're doing your cleansing of just getting rid of all the garbage. Which, hey, if you guys need to do that, man. But yes, thank you guys so much for the support, for all you can do.
Thank you.
I will still be around streaming, mostly 7 p.m. Central Time, many days as I can, sort of thing. Wednesdays might be off again, just because I want if I can Just Hellzone, because that's what it. Later, ladies and gents, Angron. But yep, all right, you guys. Good conversations. Take care. Have a good one. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Take care.